Yo, what's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Uh, Today, I'm gonna be starting part one of my full The Weekend Discography album track list, tier list ranking. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through each album. Like I'm gonna go through like a set of albums, from all the way from Trilogy to Hurry Up Tomorrow. I'm doing this in light of the Hurry Up Tomorrow release, which was over a little over a week ago. I'm gonna be doing it in parts. Today we're starting off with Trilogy, and the way that it's gonna work, the way I have it broken down here, is with six tiers, from S to E, and I also have like phrases which sort of give you more context as to what I think constitutes an S or a B or an E. Middle is sort of what I define as like I'm indifferent to it. I don't hate it nor do I like it. I wouldn't listen to it. I'd skip it, but not because I think it's bad, but just because I just simply don't like it. And enough with the intro. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So we're gonna start off. Obviously, the first 10 tracks are from House of Balloons, including 28, which is the bonus track, released in 2011. Anyway, start off high for this, an instant S tier. The beginning of it all, and overall, even if it wasn't the intro, like it's still S tier. Once the drums intensify, and yeah, it just first time I listened to it, instantly hooked. What you need, another one where it captivates you right away. um, I wouldn't put it S tier, maybe not A tier either, because sometimes I do sort of I don't listen to it all the way till the end, but it's still a great track in my opinion. Then we have the title track, House of Balloons slash Glass Table Girls, also instant S tier. Beginning to end, it's flawless. First half, perfect. Second half, also perfect. I mean, second half also perfect, but I prefer the first half. It's just a lot more, intense for me, and just a really good track to drive to as well. Next, we got The Morning, another S tier version track, studio version really good, or mixtape version, I should say, really good. But live from Sophie Stadium version, like, wow, insane. Next, we got Wicked Games, one of the first Weekend songs I've ever listened to, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot of people. I think probably his most popular from Trilogy, S tier as well. Like this three track run was one of the best ones. Like let's be real. And then we got the party and the after party. Personally, oh no, it's not bad. Personally, I prefer the first half. The second half kind of, just for me subjectively, kind of drags way too much. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's a great song. Like it's a really great song. Next we got Coming Down. Coming Down is gonna be our first A tier track. Um, from the first second, you're instantly hit. With nice vocals and an eerie instrumental. I'll admit the ending sort of does drag a little bit, but anyway, like the verses and the pre-chorus, all really good. Then we got Loft Music. It's gonna be our first C tier track. Unfortunately, it doesn't do enough to bring it to the first upper three tiers. Um, Took me a lot of re-listens for me to finally add it to my playlist. I don't know, something about the high pitched sample in the background for the first half. I don't know, I never really enjoyed it, and unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoyed the second half of Loft Music more than the first half. The one that sets up our next track, The Knowing, another A tier track. Um I forgot like where in the song, but the line where he says I know everything, and it's like towards the end, it's really like that hits you on, no matter how many times I listen to it, that always hits. The beginning of the song jags just like a little bit, which is why it's not, you know, perfect, flawless, but it's A tier. Then finally, to finish off House of Balloons, we got 28. I was hooked on this song right when I first heard it. You know, it got me through a lot of Black Ops high rounds, if Black Ops Zombies high rounds, especially BO4. And for that, it's S tier. You know, just from like when the drums kick in on the second chorus, it hits. And yeah, this is House of Balloons done. You know, we got 5 out of 10 in S, 2 in amazing, and 2 in great, and then 1 in good. I'd say this is for me. I like this breakdown. You know, we got like half of it is perfect, and the other half of it is, let's say, really great. Alright, next we're gonna move on to Thursday. The first track on Thursday is Lonely Star. Um, a little bit different than what I was used to hearing on House of Balloons, but still, it was an instant, you know, add to like songs, add to playlist song. I'm not gonna lie, I do skip the intro and the outro. You know, I'm only there for the verses and the chorus. But it's an amazing track. It's an amazing track. Next, we got Life of the Party, the second track. This is gonna be our first D tier track. Unfortunately, you know, I get a lot of hate for this in the Weekend subreddit, but you know, I just find Life of the Party, you know, just like, you know, mid. I'm indifferent to it. I don't think it's bad. You know, when I was listening to Thursday from beginning to end, when I was going through all the Weekend albums in order before Hurry Up Tomorrow, I realized I misjudged it a little bit. You know, I was missing out on a bit, but it still wasn't enough to make me add it. You know, so like fair enough. I did a lot of re-listens, still didn't add it. So like, what are you gonna do? Next, we got the title track Thursday, which in my opinion is from Trilogy, one of like the weaker title tracks. It's a little bit slow, you know, drags on. I mean, I still think it's good. You know, I enjoyed listening to it like when I'm doing homework or playing on the game. But you know, it's not a song that I would like work out to or listen to on the train or something like that. Anyway, we got The Zone, really good track. It's our first feature on Trilogy. When I first listened to it, I was sleeping on it a lot, but then every time I listen to it, I'm like, dang, this is a really like great track. But sometimes I do just skip the Drake's feature, but who doesn't? Next, we got the first Birds track, Birds Part 1, instant S tier. When I first heard it, I was like, I'm adding this right away. Some people do make fun of the military drums, you know, but I don't know, like, I think it adds a lot. The Birds Part 1 is a lot different than what I was used to hearing in Trilogy. And yeah, I think it's definitely one of his most like I can't really think of a song that's really similar to the Birds Part 1 in terms of, you know, the instrumental. You know, where else do you hear the military drums? Maybe Heaven or Las Vegas, and I don't know, maybe sonically Ordinary Life, but you know, we'll get there later. Next, we got the Birds Part 2. Unfortunately, not as good as the Birds Part 1. Contrasting, you know, the popular opinion, but I think it's a B tier great track. You know, it took me a while to like it, but once I liked it, it's really good for doing homework, in my opinion. And then we got Gone. When I first listened to it, I was like, dang, this is really long. It took me a while to add it for that reason, but I really enjoyed the first half, and so I added it. But it's a C tier track. Let's be real. Rolling Stone, his first full acoustic track, a track that I was hooked on right away because it's like I really like the melody. You know, it's quick, and I like the first half. I know it's not really split into halves, but I enjoyed the first half a lot more. But it's a great track. You know, the first time I heard it, it hit instantly. And when I was first getting into Trilogy, it was actually a song that I was replaying a lot. Right now, not so much. And then our penultimate Thursday track, or Thursday Deluxe, I guess you could say, Heaven or Las Vegas, one that took me a while to like, but then I realized I was high key missing out. The vocals after the chorus, or albeit a weak chorus, let's be real, but the vocals are really really good, and the haunting drums and the instrumental, like the eeriness, it's really captivating, but C tier is as far as it gets. Just in my opinion, it's still a good track. It's a good track, but compared to the rest of the trilogy, this is where it stands. Then we got Valerie, the bonus track for Thursday, another S tier. He really killed it on the trilogy bonus tracks. Let's be real, Valerie really, emotional track. You can't help but to sing along once he starts singing Valerie's name. And yeah, that's the end of the Thursday tracks. Next we got Echoes of Silence, the final installment of Trilogy, and one of his like darker albums. And but we begin the album with a Michael Jackson cover, which I thought was really interesting. I still don't know which one I would say is better. You could say Michael Jackson's is better because it's like the original. It's the one that set The Weeknd up for greatness, you could say. But The Weeknd's, his own take on DD or Dirty Dan is like really unique and interesting to see how he also used like the unique high pitched voice to make DD like an even darker track, which I thought was interesting. But it is S tier. No matter which one, Michael Jackson's or The Weeknd, which one's better, they're both S tier tracks. Let's admit it. Next we got Montreal, back to back S tier tracks in Echoes of Silence. Montreal. Like first heard it, I was hooked. I really like the drums, and I don't know. I just like how it's a really like sad and heartbreaking track, but his voice sounded really relaxed, and I don't know, like everyone loves Montreal. You're not gonna find someone who does not like Montreal. Next we got Outside. My first impression of Outside, didn't really like it as much, and then the more and more I started to listen to it, I was noticing elements of it that I really liked, and now I pretty much never skip it. It's an amazing track. EXO the Host, same thing as Outside. At first I was like, I'm not sure if I like this. Then I loved it. And I'm always singing to it, and EXO the Host is what made EXO iconic. But I'll admit sometimes I do skip the host, but who doesn't, from time to time. Next we got Initiation. Really weird experimental track. He does it well. You're not gonna find many artists who could do, that sort of changing in voice frequency thing as well as he did. And once I learned why he did it, I was like, oh, that's interesting, and it started to grow on me. But C tier is still as far as it gets. I'm sure most people agree that it is towards the weaker tracks on Echoes of Silence. It's still good. It's still good. Next we got Same Old Song, featuring Juicy J, but like that's one of the worst features. Unfortunately, it drops it down to B tier, and Same Old Song sped up I really like, but the mixtape version, sometimes it gets a little bit too small. I feel like the whole song is kind of redundant in that matter, but it's still like a great track. When I don't skip it, I'm like, damn, like this is really good. And then next we got The Fall, another pretty dark Echoes of Silence track, but still really, a beater track. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's great. It's great. Another track that I listen to playing Black Ops Zombies. A lot of Trilogy is like my Black Ops Zombies album, I realized. Next we got a step up from Same Old Song and The Fall. When I first heard it, I was hooked. The piano really gets to you, and then when the drums start to kick in, and he's repeating the chorus. I know I just said the same old song gets redundant, but I feel like the next takes redundancy and does a better job with it. Because you realize like how much it hits. You just want me because I'm next, and but the thing that stops it from being S tier is its length. I feel like a lot of the Echoes of Silence tracks do sort of go on for a bit too long. I mean, I guess you could say like, oh, like longer tracks, like doesn't it make it better? But some could also say, oh, you want something that's quality over quantity. But I don't know, I just like the good mix. Finally we got, or not finally, we got the title track, Echoes of Silence. I don't know why when I first heard Trilogy for the first couple times, I was like, I don't know, it was just too slow and like mellow for me to add it. But then I realized like at 21, this is one of the best vocal performances that I've ever seen. And now I don't skip it. Now I rarely skip it because it's pretty short, and it's not that hard to keep up with, and it's not hard to listen to. It's a nice soft lo-fi piano track, and a really sad track, but ultimately it's a B tier great track. Finally, we got Here Comes the Sun, the bonus track, the Trilogy bonus Echoes of Silence track, the final track on Trilogy. Really, really, really good. When I first listened to it, I was like, oh, like it's good. It's okay. I don't know how much I'd listen to it, but I'm still gonna add it. But then the more I listened to it, the more I was like, okay, no, I need to listen to this like more and more. It's really good. The bridge, I'm sure we all know the bridge that really hits, and he's speaking facts in that bridge. Let's be real. Really, really good track. It's amazing, A tier. And that wraps up the Trilogy tier list. Looking at the breakdown after we went through all 30, I think this is a pretty good breakdown. You got more than half of it is S, A, and B. I know a lot of people a lot more people would have put more tracks in Amazing and Perfect, but still, seeing all 30 and seeing that, more than half of it, I subjectively call them perfect, amazing, or great. Like, I don't think this is like a bad tier list. But it's all subjective. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed Kissland. I'm gonna do Kissland with Beauty Behind the Madness together, because I think doing these in with like 20 to 30 tracks is good, so it's not like too short or too long. This went on for about 19 minutes, so I don't think that's way too long for a tier list. But yeah, no, looking at this, I like it. There are no bad Trilogy songs. There was only one that I just find a little bit, I'm just in the middle on the fence for it. And then just a couple or a few C tier, but the rest of it is all like they exceed expectations. They're perfect, amazing, and great. My favorite mixtape, definitely House of Balloons. My least favorite, Thursday. I know a lot of people say favorite House of Balloons, least favorite is Thursday. Like, be different, but like that's just me. I like House of Balloons the most and Thursday the least, but they're both really, really good. Echoes of Silence, both, or all three, really, really good. And enough yapping. That wraps it up. Kissland, Beauty Behind the Madness next. And I'm also gonna keep this structure throughout all of it. And stay tuned for that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever. And thank you for staying this long. Thank you.